Photoshop 2021 is out. There's a ton of new features. First, we're going to look at sky replacement. How good really is it? Well, we're going to put it to the test right now. All right, guys, now that we're in Photoshop, we're going to show this sky replacement tool in action. So let's get right into it. As we see, it's very simple image here. We're going to get in some more difficult images to really test the AI of the sky replacement. So what we're going to get into, we're going to go to Edit, Sky Replacement. It's going to take a second depending on how fast your computer is. And boom, just like that, the sky is replaced. Did a really good job. Once again, this is a very simple image, but it did do an extremely good job. You can sift through multiple presets, go through sunsets, spectaculars, there's even a rainbow in there. Some really cool presets that you can kind of flip through. And as you pick a like a sunset pick like this, it will change actually the foreground of the image slightly, kind of tint it towards the sky. You can also shift the edge, fade the edge, brightness, temperature, warm or cold. You can up the scale to see how far it's zoomed in. You can also adjust the lighting and color in the foreground. Now, like I said, this is the very basic adjustments that you can do to these kind of photos. This is a very basic photo, like I said. We're going to get into a little bit harder photo right now. As you can see, this guy has longer hair. And it's kind of fluffed out, so you would have to mask out that. It's going to be a little more difficult for the AI to do. We're going to have to really analyze that and the trees in the background. So let's see how it does. So click sky replacement. It's going to automatically preset to the last sky you had on. So initial thoughts. First, let's change this back to the blue sky. And it did really well, as you can see, in the fluff of the hair, getting in between each of those hairs and getting in between these trees here. Super impressed by the sky replacement tool, especially on this photo. A little more difficult than our previous photo. So let's get into the next photo here. And as you can see, it's going to be difficult for it here to get in between these little trees to really test the AI on this sky replacement. And basically, ultimately, the reason for this tool is to make things quicker and easier while you're editing, especially if you're a day-to-day user. And this can really cut down your editing time while using Photoshop with the sky replacement tool, so you don't have to go in and manually select all these. So let's go to Edit, Sky Replacement, and see how it does. It's going to take a couple seconds, and it should be arriving here shortly, and boom. Did super well once again with getting in between these clouds in this specific photo. So you're not going to have to go in and kind of manually select all of these trees to just replace the sky. It's going to cut down on time tremendously. And obviously this doesn't look perfect. If you were actually editing this photo, you could work with it a little bit more, flip it so it's on the water, so the sky looks more real. But this is just for the video purposes, just to see how the sky replacement tool works. All right, now we're going to get into the most challenging here, and this is this photo. I took this photo on a ski trip about a year ago, and as you can see here, the sky goes into these very thin trees that have a lot of limbs that are very skinny, and we're going to see how good the sky replacement tool does here. It's obviously going to do this part right here, but I'm not sure how good it's going to be into this area over here. I'm not expecting a whole lot because this is going to be very difficult for it to pick up on, but let's see how it does. Edit, sky replacement, and we're going to see. And boom. Okay, it actually did better than I thought. As you can see, it went in between this tree right here, which is actually really impressive. But it obviously didn't get into this area. It did kind of detect this right here, which is really impressive. So it even acknowledged, this area right here as a sky, which is super impressive. And you can mess around here with the scale a little bit. If you up the scale, it'll kind of fade it into this a little bit more, which kind of makes it look more believable. If you kind of mess with the tones and mess with the brightness a little bit, it might make it more believable. But overall, the sky replacement tool on these other photos, this one I really wasn't expecting much, but on these, it performed extremely well, way above my expectations. So, kudos to the sky replacement tool, on this one. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want more Photoshop reviews or tutorials, make sure you like the video, comment down below, maybe subscribe. But anyways, that's going to be it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.